loaded the preview correctly this time. For some reason, like when I do I've been doing the other stuff, it's been loading the previews like a fuzzy. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And we are live. Welcome, 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 welcome. How is everybody doing? I know, quick change of like chill to boom. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to What's Your Story, episode 8. Welcome to Jurassic Thicc.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. So I was in a cave one time, and I found an amber, like a big piece of fucking amber with Nick inside of it. So I was like, I think I'm onto something here. So I stuck a needle, kind of pricked him in the butt a little bit. I only heard was "ooh" from inside the amber.
Hey Olivia, I'm not with Vape Radio anymore.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you. Oh, okay.
We can get into that later. But
okay.
No, I'm not with Vape Radio anymore.
Okay, never mind. Liv, no Vape Radio link. I thought he was still with it. Like, apparently not. My bad, Liv. My bad. How is everybody doing? Hello, hello. From the Netherlands. Holy crap, we got people from the Netherlands in here. That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's my dude.
Nice. Yeah, I know, Liv. I had one job and I blew it. She went up and asked me. She messaged me on Discord. She's like, "Do these links look correct?" I'm like, "Yeah." Looks good to me. And then I was like, "Oh." So yeah. Let's see. Why you can't I hear what? What are you talking about, Swags?
Oh yeah.
Dude, is the audio okay? Is everything sound okay? I'm hoping everything does.
Yeah, the audio's fine because I had the playback before I did the pop out chat, dude.
Okay. So we're good. Good. Welcome everybody. Hope you all are having a fantastic weekend, and people who are already into Sunday, happy Father's Day. Don't forget to hang out with your dad. Drink a couple beers, stuff that, if you're old enough, stuff you do with your dad. Go ahead and do it. I hear sexual seduction. Oh. Kinky.
I thought it said sexual education.
Even better.
We can do that too.
So how's everybody doing? We're just going to go straight into it. And yeah, I got a special guest today for What's Your Story. I've had his wife on the show, so I thought it was about time before I have the master of the thickness himself on here to share some thick, to share some knowledge. So welcome everybody, and welcome my guest, Mr. Thick Nick himself.
What's up? Oh, really?
Ghost. Hold on, we got a ghosty. We got a horse yelling at somebody.
Dude, I swear to God, this dog at some point has taken an exceptional amount of LSD, and he's never come off that trip.
He's riding the high of his life.
This is like full on, like Apocalypse Now, like the horror. I mean, this is, and he's been doing this all day. I work third shift, so I was trying to get a little bit of sleep in because I had been up for a full 24 hours. And I'm laying there, and all I hear him is going off. I'm like, oh, okay, someone's at the door or something. No, he's just standing there staring at a wall, barking. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? What are you on?
Whatever it is, I want some.
Oh my God! I'm sorry.
You need to get.
Thank you, Corey, for having me on here. I apologize for my jackass puppy.
No problem, man. No problem.
Oh,
that was funny.
Did you like the video from earlier?
The what? The what from earlier?
The video.
Oh yeah, I can't believe you actually did that. And it actually worked. Somebody actually said it. Did you notice the girl behind the counter was kind of fluffing their hair because she knew she was on like some kind of camera?
Well, I asked him first. I was like, hey, I'm like, hey, I have to record this. Is that okay with y'all? And they're like, oh yeah, that's fine, that's fine. I was like, all right, cool. Hey. I was so excited because I was just Angela and I never go out. We never go out and eat, let alone at a place that has a wait. And I was like that one time I was like, wait, I'm supposed to tell them. I was like, no, it's Dunkel Croy, 2 for Dunkel Croy. She was like, okay.
It's the weirdest
She's like,
response when people say
she
it.
goes, is that bad? I said, no, it's a good thing.
It's definitely a good thing.
Okay.
Once you go dunkel, you never go back, I guess, kind of thing.
I don't think you really have a choice. It kind of gives you a fucked up responsibility, man. You know?
Oh, that's great. So, it just makes me think of what had happened at IVC. So, we went to some barbecue place kind of near the New Baltimore shop where the Dan doesn't work at, but Trees works at. And we go, it's like, there's like 7 of us, and we go up. Dan goes up there and says, because we had to wait probably like 20 minutes, so he went there, he said, make this reservation for Dunkel Crow. He had like to whisper it to the guy so I wouldn't hear. And so we were waiting outside and everything. He was like, if we're going to be outside, so come out and call us and everything. So we were sitting outside, just hanging out by a rock, smoking like vaping our pods and everything, because we're idiots. Yeah. This guy opens the door and just screams out, Dunkel Croy, party of 7? I'm like, oh my fucking god. And he just literally belts it to where people in the parking lot could probably hear it. I'm like, did that just really happen right now? And
Hell
now
yeah.
it's been a tradition that's like whatever somebody's at a restaurant, they have to do that and videotape it, and then it's just humor on me.
Well, I remember Dan saying, do it and I'll give you X. And he and we couldn't remember what it was for. I didn't care. That's not why I did it. I did it because I was like, this is my M&M opportunity. This is my one shot. I'm like, I have to do this. Destiny is calling me.
There you go. So why don't we
Open up my eyes.
So why don't we get into it? What are you vaping on? Get straight into it here. What are you vaping on?
I got a Lush Ice Stig, and I'm gonna tell you something. I have never had an issue with a Stig, but this pack not only is not Lush Ice, it's Mango Bomb, which is a menthol mango. It's not bad. It's just not what I was expecting. It's a good flavor. Also, one of them was dead on arrival, and the other one was leaking. So this is out of a pack of 3, the only one that's working.
Well,
only time that's ever happened to me.
Well, that's a little bit of a waste of money right there.
They're going to get an angry email. And then I'm also rocking the Wake Modco Bigfoot kit, or not kit, just a Bigfoot with and I picked this up last night, the Recurve Dual. And I actually have cloud coils in there.
What do you think of it?
So I'm going to review it. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you right now that I'm getting incredible airflow, and the flavor on this is so damn good. Oh my god!
I don't know if because for some reason I'm judging all airflow now, like how the Dead Goat is, because for the Dead Goat that's like my perfect style of airflow, and I'm seeing how the Recurve Dual has like the multiple holes in it too. So I'm hoping, like, I feel like I'm more of a fan of the multiple hole. Like the Warriors airflow, the Dead Goat, the stuff where it's tiny, tiny holes.
Yeah, so I mean, I love the original Recurve. Mm-hmm. I still use that, dude, and it was like $23, and I was like, man, I really want to. I want to give this thing a shot. I'm like, if I don't like it, I mean, like, first off, what about this would I not like? It's a dual quill version of the Recurve. I think the holes are the same size. Mm-hmm. So it's got just a tad bit restrictiveness. But I've got the coils set like right at the bottom row of the 3 holes.
Did you use the jig that was in there?
Oh, to cut the leads?
Yeah.
No, fuck no. That thing went straight back. I pulled it out. I was like, what is this plastic recycle piece of shit? I just threw it right back in the box. I was the coils that it came with, but the coils it came with said that a set is rated at 0.26. And these are, so this is something I'm not. Mike has always made a good product. He really truly has.
Mm-hmm.
But Watofo needs to step up their game here. A 28 by 4 with 36 wrap, nichrome 80, inner diameter is 3 millimeter, and they're 5 wrap. These come out to a 0.07 as a set.
Whoa.
So I had one of them in there, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I can run this in single coil." And I'm like, "I've already done that. The whole purpose of this is a dual coil." So I'm rocking this. I love the flavor. I love the airflow. Everything about it I'm really enjoying. And in that, I've got the Noms ×2 cactus, jackfruit, and mandarin.
I still need
Which
you
can get over at knowndistro.com and use code That's What She Said for 25% off your order.
Oh my goodness. Is that a shameless plug? I think it is.
Oh, I also have an IVC code, Thicknick10 for 10% off if y'all want that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, or you can use
Use some Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount. You can get any of the IVC stuff. Get some
Parade Maker. What's that one that I really like?
Parade Maker is literally life.
Sherbet.
What? Oh, the Millionaire.
Yeah. Oh my fuck.
Just the original one?
The OG, dude.
Have you had the mango one?
I have not. I've only had the original.
I have the mango one and the raspberry one, and oh yes.
I'll try all of them except for the grapefruit because I just am not a grapefruit dude.
So is that all you're vaping on, man?
And I got the orchid sitting here, but it's full of 50 milligram salt nick, and it's a 0.8 coil.
Oh.
And this is more of a restricted lung hit, and this thing is beating my ass. So I'll hit it like once every 3 years. And I'm cool.
That pod's gonna last you 6 years.
Man, so the device is solid, and it's everything about it's great. Putting salt nick in it was a mistake on my part because I didn't pay attention to what pot it was. So that's my fault.
With the 0.8 coils, I think it would be better off to either put like a 6 or a 12 in there. A 12 might be a little bit.
Yeah, 6 or 12. Oh my god.
So that's the testicle hairs on fire.
So yeah, that's what I'm vaping on. Sorry for that long explanation.
No problem, man. Let's see. What do I got going on right now? Of course, got the Warlock's hammer.
Yeah, buddy.
With the Warrior on top. Clear, random China drip tip. In there, I got some Guerrilla Warfare 0.27, 0.270. And then, what else do I... Oh, freaking juice on my finger now. God damn it. And then, I got the Cartel Revenant with the gear. Loving this fucking thing. The gear is just, like, taking over my work setup. And where's the spec? And then, side of there, I got Nazo. Of course. Wouldn't be me if there wasn't Transistor in my lineup. And let's see, what else do I got? It's not set up yet, but it will be. I just need to throw a battery in there and some wicks. I'm going to be vaping on my White Dreamer, Dead Goat, DHD tip, and inside of there, I'm going to be putting some rounds, the Kiwi Apple.
I'm still waiting on my Transistor.
I know it's working. He's just not in town a lot, so I'll get something together for you whenever I can make my way over there, whenever I can actually see the damn dude, because he's been traveling like a motherfucker lately.
Is Transistor going to be at Houston Vape Showcase?
He's not going to have a booth, but he's going to be there walking around.
Oh, okay, right on.
So, I don't know about MVE yet. Not that I know of. I'm not sure. I have to check on that. As of right now, on the website, I don't think he's on there, but I got to double check. Or just ask him. That way it worked too. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm vaping on right now. Is there anything just straggling around? I got my Aspen, but I haven't been vaping it because the freaking brass is a mess. It's just dirty and tarnished, and oh my god, it just looks disgusting, and I need to clean it.
Same.
And I've just been too lazy to right now. Well, I'm not been too lazy. I just have no polish. So I just can't clean it. So that's all I'm vaping on. So why don't we get to why I have you here today? I had your wife on, and she told her story, which was it's an emotional story, as you know.
Absolutely.
It hits close to her heart. So I want to hear your side of it, your side of your story, because yours, from what she told me, is pretty different than hers. So my first question to you before you say it is how old were you when you first started smoking?
Oh man, I was between 12 and 13 when I had my first cigarette, and it was the classic. So my best friend Dan, I've known him. I mean, we're essentially going on 20 years now. Um, he and I were walking home from hanging out at a park, just doing our normal thing because we had nothing else to do. And on the way back to his house, one of his friends, because he was a grade higher than I was, one of his friends who was a grade higher than he was, pulled up on his BMX bike, and he was a super nice guy. He wasn't like the stereotypical like mean older kid. He was just like, oh hey guys, what's kicking? How y'all doing? And he pulled a cigarette out and he gives one to Dan, and then he was like, "Man, do you smoke?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Oh, all right, man, that's cool." And a couple of minutes goes by, and I'm just watching him smoke, and he was like, "Well, do you want one? I don't want to be rude." Which I was like, "Man, that was really nice of him." I was like, "Well, I don't want to not, participate. You know what I mean? Like everybody else smokes, so why not give it a shot?" And I was a Marlboro Menthol 100.
Ooh.
And he hands it to me, and I light it, and I'm just doing like the classic, like the like not even really thinking about it. He goes, "No, no, no, no." He goes, "You got to inhale it like into your lungs." And I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks, Bill Clinton." And I take a real fucking deep drag, man. And it just like setting fire off inside of me, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so painful," and I'm coughing. And he was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Have you never had a cigarette before?" And I'm like, "No." He was like, "Oh, okay, man. Well, that's probably not the best place to start." And I regain my composure, and I take another drag and another one and another one, and then I finish that cigarette, and we talk for a minute. He gives Dan and I each one to walk home with, and we stop at Dan's house, and he's like, "Are you gonna smoke that cigarette, or can I have it?" I was like, "I don't know yet, but if I don't smoke it, I'll give it to you." Because he and I would meet up and walk to school and back home from school,
Mm-hmm.
and sure enough, man, I walked straight from his house to the gas station, bought a pack of cigarettes because I've always looked substantially older than what I actually am, and I smoked the cigarette that the dude on the bike gave me. I still don't know what his name is. I never knew what his name was.
Mystery man who got me to smoke.
And went home, and because I had a lighter at home, because I was we're hood rats doing hood rat things, and I was a smoker since, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, how many years did you say you smoked?
I smoked a little over 10 years.
10 years, okay. So, what made you want to get into vaping? How did you discover vaping, and how was it introduced to you?
So the first time I even had ever heard of or seen a vape was Blue. And this was when they were just the Cardos. And so in Texas, I lived south of where I'm at, and the further south you go, the only grocery store chain is HEB. And let me tell you guys something. Y'all have never been to a real grocery store until you've been to an HEB. So at Houston Showcase, we need to take a little detour to an HEB just so y'all can experience the majesty of that shit, because y'all are not ready for this. And they had these blue Cardos. They had like cherry, vanilla, menthol, and like tobacco, I think. So Angela and I bought one of each, and immediately we got sick off of them. And we're like, okay, well, there's something not adding up here. And I said, man, I think there's a vapor store in town. We should try going and seeing what this is about. And we did either that night or the next night. And this was 2010. So we go and we get a couple setups, and now there's a guy that worked there. His name's Mason. So he and I had started talking because we both liked metal, and I was a young dad. He was a young dad. So we really, clicked off, and just, we started hanging. We never hung out, but we would talk, exchange Facebooks and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, man, there's people on YouTube that you can watch that'll tell you how these products are. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. So I go home and I type in vape on the computer, and first person that pops up is Rip Trippers. And I was like, okay, click. I was like, man, that's a little too high energy for me. Yeah. And right below him was Grim Green. And I was like, oh, shit, he's wearing a Clutch hat. I love Clutch. And this was his third video, I think. Very, very, very early on. And I click on it, and I was like, oh, man, that was cool. And I had never hit the subscribe button ever on YouTube. And I was like, subscribe. So I subscribed to him and had been watching him, and I just thought he was a cool guy. And, vaping didn't stick that time. I had a really leaky setup. Angela had a Ego spinner that leaked, and those shitty little silica wick tanks, and just all that. It was just awful. So we had tried doing that several times before, but the last time, the one thing that stuck out to me was the first vaping convention in Texas. It was on the news, and there's all these people blowing clouds, and I just remember going, what a bunch of fucking losers. Oh my God.
The funny thing is, we're going to one next weekend.
Oh yeah. Now I'm like, I am that loser. But yeah, that was like my first real big experience into vaping. But I immediately went back to cigarettes because, of course, it didn't stick. But I kept watching Grim Green that entire time because I was very interested in the technology behind it. I'm a very scientific driven person. I love science and I love technology and innovation and stuff like that. So, but that was my first foray into vaping.
That's awesome. That's freaking... Because all the people I've experienced, their stories are kind of similar, but they're all a little bit different because it's some people didn't get started with the same setup, but a lot of them I've noticed, it all started the same way to me, to where they tried it out at the very beginning. Their first setup absolutely fucking sucked, and ended up making them going back to smoking a little bit, or either dual using. And then they find that one setup that works for them, and then they are able to make the change. So now I'm getting into that little segue. I think that I planned out pretty well. I'm surprised. What was the setup that made you make that full switch?
So Okay, so just so I don't fuck up the flow of your show. So
There's no flow. It's just
I
it goes as it is.
I don't tell you how I quit smoking. I just tell you what I quit smoking on, correct?
Do both. Fuck it. Let's do it. How'd you quit
Okay.
smoking? And what was the
Uh,
setup?
so at the time, I was a pet mortician,
Mm-hmm.
and I man, I was a five pack a day smoker,
Mm-hmm.
if not more. If it was if I had a night off that was like a weekend or I had people over, um, I would literally sit out back and I would, drink and just fucking hammer cigarettes. So I could easily go from 5 packs during a working week to 8, 9 packs on a weekend where I didn't have to work. So, I mean, when I'm saying I was a heavy smoker, I put most people, I could literally outsmoke anybody any day of the week. Like my voice was never ever as deep and gravelly as it was before I was smoking 5 packs a day of Marlboro Red 100s or Lucky Strike Unfiltered. Like if I could find those, I would buy those. But
Yeah.
most every store would have the Marlboro Reds. So so part of my job was going to people's homes and picking up deceased pets. And that particular day, I had to go an hour south of where we were located and do a pickup. And then I get a call saying, "Hey, you need to go hella north," which was 2 hours from where I was, to go get a pet. And I was like, God man, okay, whatever. So before I left the city I was in, I pulled into a gas station to fuel up and grab a drink and some cigarettes because I was already out. And they didn't have my brand, and they didn't have Lucky Strikes, and they didn't have anything comparable. And I was like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do?" So I was like, "You know what? I'll run across the highway, like literally, like run across the highway to get a pack of cigarettes." And I did, and they didn't have any either. And I was like, "Okay, well that's weird." So I'll get some when I get back into normal part of town. So I drive, do the pickup, and then on the way back, I call the home base and I'm like, "Hey, I want to stop and do my lunch real fast. So y'all hold my calls." So there's a particular area, and I still go there now, where there's like my local GameStop and like Panda Express and Whataburger, Long John Silver's, all that shit. And so you got this big shopping center, right? And then you have a 7-Eleven on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm in a big ass panel van, literally full of deceased animals. So I try to park away because people see it and they like climb up trying to look through the windows. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
That's fucked up.
So the 7-Eleven, the only way to get into it is off of the main drag. You can't just pull in from that complex. So me not thinking, I was like, well, fuck, I can't whip this rig through here. They're like the driveway's too steep. I'll roll this van. So I decided to pull into the complex, and I'll pull in, back up, park behind the 7-Eleven, and then I'll just walk around. So I pull into a parking space, and I lean forward to look at my blind spots, and I end up looking up, and it says Vapor Store. I was like that seems like a sign. And mind you, at the time, Angela was in Chicago, so our communication was very nil at the time. I'm fighting back sneezing, man. My allergy kicking my ass. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna get a vape set up. I'm gonna quit smoking this weekend. Yeah, I was just telling my friend that previous night on Grand Theft Auto, because we were doing GTA 5 online. I was like, I'm so tired of going outside and smoking because I can't take the controller. It's cold as shit outside. I'm like, this is just stupid. And he was like, okay, whatever. And to this day, he still smokes. Literally, out of all my friends, he's the only one that smokes. So we're like, whatever, as we're all hitting our jewels and shit. Uh, so I go in there and I'm excited, but I'm kind of standoffish because I'm like, vaping has never worked before for me. And I ended up getting a Nautilus 2, and I said I want something simple. I don't want a screen. I'm like, just give me something that's easy to use and foolproof. So the woman's like, oh yeah, I got something perfect. And I was like, also I want it to be cheap. Grabs a mech mod out of this like this glass counter thing and puts this tank on it. And she goes, yeah, this will work.
Oh God.
Now looking back, I realize this is essentially it's a hybrid. I mean, it's a 18650 mech mod hybrid with a Nautilus 2 on top. But because I torqued this motherfucker down because I didn't know any better, it was making a contact. Thank God. Doesn't tell me anything about batteries. Just does not explain shit to me. But the flavor tastes really good. It was strawberry shortcake, 3 milligram. Did not know that it was a 60 PG, 40 VG. But I mean, the flavor was great. And used that. I was just chain vaping the shit out of that all day. And then the battery died. And I was like, man, I'm like, can I get these at like where do I get another battery? So I was like, I guess I gotta go to the vape shop again, buy a new battery. So I throw the battery away because I'm thinking it's like a AA battery, right? Just bigger. Get off work, go to another vape shop, and they're like terrified at this setup. So they're like, look, you can keep this, but you need to take this tank off of here. You can't use this on this type of mod. And I'm like, why? It's all the same, right? No. So they set me right to get an eye taste 2 and another bottle of liquid because I had already killed half of a 30, which I mean is not surprising. And I was like, oh man, this is great. So at the time, I had spent like $300 that day. And Angela had been asking me for like about $100 a day to send her for cigarettes because she was in Chicago and she was in Cook County.
Crook County, we like to call it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I was like, like $20 a pack.
I live in Cook County, so I know.
So I get home. Oh, also, I still went and bought cigarettes. But that first week, so that was like it was a Friday. Angela was in Chicago, so it was just me at home. That first week, I smoked. That first day, I smoked a full pack of cigarettes and vaped. Mm-hmm. The second day, I smoked 3/4 of a pack and vaped. Third day, half a pack and vaping. Fourth day, quarter pack. And then that Thursday or that Friday, I got up in the morning, I lit a cigarette and went, oh. Haven't had one since.
Those are like the experiences that I live for. Is when you're trying to make that transition and you're still dual using, but then you have that one clarifying moment to where you try to smoke that cigarette and you're like,
yeah,
like you're like, this is fucking disgusting.
Oh, it was horrible. All I could taste was like burningness. I mean, it was like licking an ashtray. So I put it out and I go inside, I brush my teeth again, and I grab my eye taste 2. And I go to work, and when my coworkers who had really he didn't push vaping on me. He just wanted to make sure that I had all the information because I was like, what about popcorn lung? What about, what about pneumonia and stuff like that? 'Cause, coming from trying to be logical about it, it's, there's a lot of misinformation for people who are not in this industry. and me even watching somebody like Grim Green, I still was very hesitant to use this, these products, because there's a lot of gray area with information, especially at that time. We didn't have the Royal College of Physicians study. We didn't have nobody knew that popcorn lung didn't come from vaping, or even a particular amount of diacetyl, but it came from a man that worked at the Flavicol factory, who was literally inhaling this stuff on a massive level. Like we didn't know this at the time. We just knew that vaping doesn't cause popcorn lung because cigarettes have more diacetyl in it, and that has never been something that has killed anybody. And so he noticed that I wasn't going outside at all. So, and my productivity at work was just through the roof, because I wasn't having to stop to go outside every couple minutes to go smoke. And he walked into the room that I worked in, and it's completely fogged out. And he's like, "Oh man, dude, you're vaping." I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, have you been going outside and smoking?" I said, "Dude, I tried to smoke a cigarette this morning and I almost died." And he was like, "Dude, fuck yeah." Like, he was so excited for me. And still to this day, I have never, ever had any form of tobacco at all. I have strictly used vaping products, not a cigar, not a pipe, not a blunt, not anything. No form of combustion has touched these lips for 4 years strong. So, and I have no intentions of going in. I mean, oh yeah, for my first anniversary of not smoking, I got a Vape Life tattoo. So that was kind of my, okay, you can't go back, because if you do, you're going to be that douchebag who's got a vape tattoo that's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good thing to have on you. That's really cool. It's really, really cool. So, wow, completely lost my train of thought for a second. Holy crap. Blah, blah, blah. See, I got so enthralled in what you were saying that it's like, it's insane, because everybody's story is a little bit different, and everybody's experiences always ends up the same, to where you're hesitant on it, but then you get introduced to it, and then you realize how many things have changed, how many, like, you change how you feel, like how you were saying, you didn't need to go outside to smoke a cigarette at all. Your productivity at work went through the fucking roof because you didn't need to do that. I mean, I wish I could fucking vape in my desk. That'd be fucking amazing.
Well, I mean, see, so this job I had, I drove a lot, and of course I was never allowed to smoke in these vans, and thank God the owner, nobody is watching, but we had cadaver spray, which is used in the funeral industry to mask dead bodies. So I could I mean, if you can cover up the smell of a dead body, you can cover up the smell of cigarettes. So I could smoke in these vans and just spritz once, and it would smell like a fresh car. You wouldn't have any idea that I had been smoking for 6 hours in here. So, yeah, I mean, it's just been after realizing that. So I thought, okay, well, when I typed in vape into YouTube and I found this guy that I think is really cool, what happens if I type vape into Facebook? And I found a local vaping group, and just it started building up from there. And then I took Angela to get her set up, and you heard her story. And I mean, it just has gone from there. I mean, even, last night was the first time Angela and I have done anything in forever. And she was like, "I want to get a fucking Jackaroo." And I was like, "Oh, that's so fucking cool." She's like, "Now I want an M-Turk." And I'm like, "Okay." And I remember 3-4 years ago her saying, "I'll never use an RDA. Those are terrifying." And now that's like all that she uses. And just looking at the contrast of of where I was, how I felt about vaping, and going, yeah, man, that Grim Green dude's pretty cool too. Like, that's my friend. Like, that's somebody I know that I talk to. Like, I now am making these videos to put on this YouTube for that person who's a 5-pack a day smoker who's unsure about vaping. That is why I do what I do. I mean, and a lot of people don't know this, but my uncle, his name was Les Fuller, and he was one of the Marlboro men.
Really? Okay.
So my family's legacy is built off of Marlboro. So I feel like it's my responsibility to get as many people not even into vaping, but to understand vaping. Like, if you don't vape, that's fine. I would rather you not do anything at all than smoke, IQOS, vape. What the fuck did you do?
Well, I did. Mod fell over. I caught it. It's good.
Oh, well, yeah. So I feel very strongly about educating people when it comes to vaping. I do very, very strongly. I mean, if I didn't feel strongly about this industry, I wouldn't have had a tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have, started a channel multiple times. I mean, it's just this industry, and it's not even because of the people I know or the people that I love or anything like that, man. It's just that I'm like, this is some serious life-saving shit. Like, and that is something worth fighting for,
Yeah, you
you
have
know,
to.
and
It's
that's
like when you've seen it happen firsthand, you can see how it's changed people's lives and changed your own life. In my opinion, you can't help but fight for it because you see something that's truly working and seeing how the government and all these regulations are trying to shut this industry down. It's scary because they're trying to get rid of something that is actually saving lives. And the way I look at it is we can't let that happen. We can't.
and
As a free human being with a human conscience and everything, you cannot let that happen because that just goes against every kind of moral I can think of. If you
my
believe in
whole
something, you have to fight for it. That's what I was taught growing up, and that's what I'm doing today.
yeah. uh I won't go off on a tangent because David and Droom were watching the Thick Click that I do with Vaping with Ken last night, and I had probably a 45-minute rant without a single breath about the government. And I was totally triggered. Um, but I love conspiracy theories. I love the fun behind them, but I also there are several that I do subscribe to. And the one thing that I can't stand is the fact that the government believes that it can tell us in a country in which we are based on freedoms, um, that what I can and cannot use as an adult, telling me my access to flavors is unimportant or my access to specific um, uh, uh, devices is unimportant. Um, I I don't believe in that, and I believe that the overregulation of the vaping industry is a form of population control. We don't have overregulation of tobacco. We don't have overregulation of medicine. We have overregulation of a life-saving device that detracts from cancer treatments, that detracts from medicines that are to be purchased for the sake of smoking cessation. And those are things that the big pharmaceutical companies and the government that receive spiffs from the pharmaceutical companies. And this is not just me feeling this way. This is a fact that there are paper trails of this, um, that are affected. And this has always been a money thing. This has never been about kids or vaping. This has never been about we don't know about what these products can do. You have a 5% inherent risk of vaping. You are heating up a metal that is designed for conducting electricity. You have batteries that can vent. But at the end of the day, you have a product that can save lives. Big tobacco has never been the enemy. Big tobacco creates our customers. Mm-hmm. And that is how, and I said this on another stream, and I can't even remember where the hell I was. There's going to eventually come a point, if we continue to try to fight against big tobacco, where if tobacco products no longer exist, we will no longer have people to convert to vapors, and then the vaping industry will eventually crumble because hobbyists cannot float this industry on its own. The money is in starter kits. The money is in converting smokers. So what we need to realize is that big tobacco is making an effort in creating products, in purchasing stake shares in vaping companies, in a part to be doing what we are doing, because they want some of the money, but because they also realize their products are killing folks. But there's a chance for them to kind of make amends there. And I'm not talking giving $1.2 million to California annually because they're like, ah, shit, our products do cause cancer. But what this comes down to is pharmaceutical companies, and you can even Gottlieb, as much of a douche nozzle as he is not nearly as bad as Judge Grimm or the ant groups or the big pharmaceutical companies. Like RJ Reynolds donated $4.8 million to help fight the flavor ban in California. Pharmaceutical companies are the ones that are paying for actors to literally go to these hearings to say, hey, we don't want flavors. Flavors attract kids, and kids shouldn't be vaping. And in all honesty, I don't even think for a second why we have a smoking age or why we have a vaping age. A drinking age, sure. But I mean, I've never seen an actual study that says anything that nicotine is harmful to a developing brain. Nicotine is in the nightshade family of plants. You eat potatoes, you eat peppers, you eat all these things. And yet we want to try to overregulate because some punk ass kids want to look cool, trying to blow some O's or put jewels in their nose.
They're doing what we did with cigarettes. They're
right.
Think about it. It's a new age.
Choosing a safer alternative from the get-go because they realize that smoking causes an illness. If you ask me, would I rather every child in high school who is stressed out because of school, and school is stressful, to be on Xanax or to be on a Juul? 10 out of 10 times I'm going to say I want them to be on a Juul.
I would agree. I would definitely agree with that.
And it's the lesser of two evils.
Mm-hmm. It's the lesser of two evils, but you have to look at it where, okay, they're already going to like you said, they're all automatically already going to a safer alternative. It's not getting the smoking. And if you think about it, there's the studies out there that show high schoolers that start vaping are not in it for the long run. They're doing it from probably not even a month or two tops. They're doing it for the quick fix, and they're done.
My whole issue here, and it's always been my issue before I was a vapor, is when the government wants to try to tell me what I can and cannot do within reason. There are laws that are put into place for a reason. You can't commit a murder. You can't steal shit. Okay, fine. I'll adhere to your laws, but don't sit here and don't tell me that my little vape here is causing harm to little Timmy down the street, because it's not. And I'm gonna sit on my platform. I put stickers on my car. I mean, it is lit. I'm a walking billboard for vape companies, and I purposely will stop outside of stores in a off to the side, so people will more likely than not approach me to ask me about vaping, and it is because that's what I want to talk about. I want to educate people, even if they don't smoke. That's what's funny. Most people that come up to me aren't smokers. They're like, "Oh, are you vaping?" Yeah. Oh, but it's such a little thing. I thought it blows big clouds. And I'm like, no. You can. That's the thing. I have that, but I keep that at home. I like to do that at home. I use this, just to get my nicotine, and then I go in the store, I shop, and I leave. And they're like, oh, well, you use it inside. I'm like, well, no, I can't. You can't smoke in Kroger, so you don't vape in Kroger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. And then I say, the government's trying to take flavors away. They're trying to eliminate vaping. Well, is it safer than smoking? And I'm like, yeah, 95%. Oh, yeah. I'm like, if you have some time, you should, contact our governors, Greg Abbott and, John Cornyn and all, blah, blah, blah. Let them know, hey man, I don't smoke, I don't vape, but I think, you should be more conscious and be more pro vaping. And unfortunately, because of the horrible, shitty advocacy effort in the state of Texas, we've fallen. Tobacco 21 has happened. Hemp is now legal, and we have a recreational cannabis next year on the bill to be legal, and that's been a trend in multiple states now.
Just happened in Illinois.
Right.
T21 happened, and then I would say probably a week or two after, they just legalized recreational marijuana to happen starting January 1st, 2020. It's set in stone to where bill's already signed. The moment January 1st hits, you're going to be able to legally smoke weed in the state.
September 1st, you got to be 21, or you have to be 21 to buy, use, and work in smoke and or vapor shops. And a good friend of mine works at a vape shop, and he's not 21, so he very well could be out of a job.
Yeah.
Or if not, he's working in a vape shop where he can't use any of the products.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would put his coworkers or his employer in a bind if he was buying the products, because then they're selling to a minor. That's ridiculous. But because the state of Texas advocacy is a complete and absolute fucking joke, we fell.
The way I look at it too is, let's say if Tobacco 21 happened to every state, there's one thing that I would want to happen that I wouldn't say would make it more reasonable for me, but have like a grandfather date in there, to where if you were of age at the time to where you were able to do that, you were able to smoke, you were able to vape, you should not be obliged to. Once that date hits, it's illegal for you to do it now. There should be some kind of grandfather date to where if you were doing that at that time as it was legal, then you should not be penalized for anything in the future. That's a reasonable thing.
As much as I completely agree. First off, I think T21's stupid, but if we have to go that route, then people who are of 18 years old and older should be grandfathered in. Absolutely. But most states are not going to sit there and try to fuck with that verbiage. They're going to just be like, got to be 21 across the board, military exception. State of Texas decided to take it one step further. And not only is it T21, but they reworded what the word minor means in the state of Texas, which means if you're a minor in the state of Texas, which is under 21 now, you can't serve alcohol, you can't sell alcohol, you can't serve tobacco, you can't sell tobacco. And I'm going to assume this would also include pornography and sex toys as well, which we have a lot of those kind of stores here that young people. Well, I mean, it is. It's a thing, man. And that's it, and again, and I will rag on these fuckers till the day I die. I will never let them live it down. Texas Safada is a fucking joke. It's like Bill Burr. It's like Dave Chappelle. It is Comedy Central all day. They can't get shit done for anything. Their idea of advocacy is a change.org petition, which doesn't do shit at all, but they want to collect money. It's, dude.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Even our VTA representation here is complete garbage, because we knew T21 was happening 3 months before, and I spent an hour and 45 minutes on the phone with the jackass saying, hey, we need to do something about this. Oh, no. We'll give them T21 so we can keep flavors. That's not how this works.
No, you can't give somebody something and take something away.
You don't negotiate with terrorists.
Exactly.
And that is what the fuck this is. We are going to take away your right, and being able to smoke a cigarette, buy a lottery ticket, and vote at the age of 18 is a right. That is your crowning achievement of hitting that point in your life. And they have now taken that away, with the exception of being in the military. And I don't even know if I actually agree with that, because if it's, oh, well, I'm in the military so I can smoke or I can vape, but I can't have a beer, or it, like, Texas is about 20 to 25 years behind the rest of the world. We're in some kind of weird, like it's
yeah, it's all kinds of fucked up. It really is. Okay, guys. Well, we're getting towards the end here. I know this has been some really good conversation. Nick's been bringing up some really good points. So before we head off, Nick, is there anything going on for you that you want to promote a little bit? Anything going on with the channel? Or with
I've got some new reviews that I'll be doing coming up pretty soon. Starter kit, RDA, just real, like, just normal, affordable kind of stuff. Join the Ohmwreckers Anonymous group if you haven't. It's fun, and it's kind of a free-for-all.
Yeah.
And I'll be at Houston Showcase next week.
You can see me and Thick Nick there. So
yeah,
a lot of the Stooges are going. I know the Supreme Stewges are going. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be pretty awesome. I can't wait for it. It's literally right around the corner. Literally this time next week, I'm gonna be seeing Nick right in front of me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's a lot to take in. You can find me on Instagram at thickest_Nick. You can find me on Twitter if you want. I don't usually use Twitter, but if you want to tweet me, it's _horror daddy. Channel is youtube.com/thicknick. I've got some videos up there. Go ahead, give them a like. Give it a little subscribe.
Yeah, do it, guys.
Ain't gonna hurt nothing. I try to do at least one live stream a week, which usually lasts several hours. But yeah, just doing the thing.
Just doing the good old thing.
Oh, and go to knowndistro.com, use code That's What She Said, get 25% off. And when you go to IVC, use code ThickNick10 for 10% off your order.
There you go. What else could you ask for? To be honest, guys, you can get some discount codes. You can get some good content. How's the counterculture thing going right now? The magazine you guys are doing?
So
hiatus, or
it's not even on a hiatus. Angela and I are working on doing something. We're trying to work on getting the first issue made up. We just, because Angela also works for Vaping.
Yep.
And she's also writing for Death Wish Coffee as well. And I work full-time, third shift, and I do YouTube. and I have house stuff to do, like mowing the yard and all that. So finding the time to mess with something that produces zero income is kind of hard. So it's just kind of got pushed back, and but we've got something that we're kind of planning on doing. Going to do try to get the first issue wrapped up. Just gotta get everything filled in. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And when that comes out, I mean, of course it's free, but we're just looking for advertisers. So if you want to advertise, come my way, and I will shoot you the rates and work something out and get your pretty face plastered all over my website.
There you go. That's awesome, man. Can't wait to read it. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited. I've seen some of the stuff on the website, and I'm really enjoying what I've seen. So I can't wait for the first issue to come out. So guys, that's it for What's Your Story. I'd like to give a big thank you again to Mr. Thicc Nick for coming on, giving us a whole lot of info and a lot of awesome information and it's just good sitting and talking to him, because he's like another family member of mine, pretty much.
Somebody said it earlier. Nick Thompson says, I'm the Marlboro man of vaping. I also think I'm like the Alex Jones of vaping, but
not as crazy. Crazy.
The PG in the water's turning the freaking frogs gay.
That's why you guys are fucked up. So guys, if you liked what you saw, make sure if you're not subscribed yet, head over to my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also, guys, I have a giveaway going right now that is going until I gotta look at that. You always have to keep on looking at the damn calendar. I think it's the 29th. Let's see.
When he hits 100 subs, he's giving away a Aspen Modco Monarch and a flavor RDTA.
Whoa, I don't even have all that stuff. I have the Monarch, but I don't have the flavor part of it. So,
and 5 million gallons of transistor.
Shut up. So on the 22nd, guys, I'll be giving away. Hold on, where'd the chat go? I just scrolled up. Hold, please. Okay. So for first one I'm giving away, you can thank Overdrip Uncle Chris for all this. He graciously donated this stuff for me to give away from a 100 subscriber giveaway. I'll be giving away an RX2 2700 unopened and an iconic RDA unopened in stainless. So you get a full setup, and all you got to do is to go on to any of my videos. Could be your favorite video, could be your least favorite video. Go to any of my videos, comment on there. All you have to do is comment #DunkelCroy. That is all you need to do. All you need to do. So make sure you go do that if you want to win some free stuff. Why not? It's stuff. It's stoof. So that's all I got for you guys today. Again, thank you, Nick, for coming on with me.
Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. And guys, keep on vaping. Keep it saucy. I'll talk to you all later. I gotta end it.